Yo, what's good, folks? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. This is Tyrus Bane. Welcome to the definition of anarchy, where today on Friday, April 6th, 2021, I'm going to discuss Johnathon Pentland. Johnathon Pentland and what he did to a young black man in his neighborhood, walking down the street. So, if you guys are familiar, Johnathon Pentland is a staff sergeant in the Army who was stationed in South Carolina, okay, and he lives in Columbia, in this neighborhood where this incident took place. So there's a video going around of Johnathon Pentland harassing a young black man and then eventually assaulting him. Okay, he's standing there, talking to the young black man. The young black man is like minding his own business. Johnathon Pentland goes up to him, starts telling him he doesn't belong here, keep walking, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. And then the exchange goes on like that. And at some points, the young black man is saying, let's wait for the police, because apparently the wife called the police, and we'll get into why. Okay. So, but that's not good enough for Johnathon Pentland. So he decides to put his hands on the young man, assaulting him. Okay. He was dead wrong for that. So what led up to this? Well, allegedly, and this is what's going around, allegedly, the young black man is being accused of having sexually harassed a young woman. Okay. Now, this young woman is said to have stood in the street for about 5 to 10 minutes, yelling help after he touched her or touched the article of her clothing to some degree. And no one came to her aid. So what she did was she ran over to Johnathon Pentland's house, knocked on the door, told them what was up. And then, Pentland's wife called the police, and Pentland went outside to deal with the young man. And this is when everything else is, known, history. So this is the biggest problem, right? With the young woman. If the young woman needed help, right? If the young woman needed help, why stand in the street for 5 to 10 minutes screaming help and then run over to Johnathon Pentland's house, as opposed to immediately calling whatever security force is responsible for that neighborhood? Let's say like the police. Why not call the police and let them deal with it? You know what I'm saying? Why would your first thought be to go to Johnathon Pentland's house, who you may know is a staff sergeant in the military? You might even have some indication to his mind state in regards to certain types of individuals. I don't know. This is just me spitballing here. I'm trying to figure out why she would go to him as opposed to calling the police, which his wife ended up doing. That's something that I don't understand. So either case, right? Johnathon Pentland did not see this young man assault this woman. Did not see anything like that. What he did was he went up to the young man and told him to leave. The police are on the way. Don't you want them to find out what's going on? Why would you tell him to leave the scene of the alleged crime? Why would you do that if you actually believe that this young woman was threatened by this dude? Why not wait for the police to show up? You didn't see what happened. So you have no idea if she's telling the truth or not. So you have no right to put your hands on this young man or even tell him to leave the neighborhood. You have no right. I don't care if you know he doesn't live in the neighborhood. It doesn't matter. It's not up to you to determine who can walk up and down the community. It's just not. Okay. So, and of course, Brandon Tatum did a video on this and said that Johnathon Pentland did nothing wrong. And we know Brandon Tatum is dead wrong for saying that. You have no right as a human being to put your hands on another human being or even tell them to leave leave property that doesn't belong to you. The sidewalk does not belong to Johnathon Pentland. He has no right to tell him or to try to remove the young man from the sidewalk or out of the neighborhood. You have no right. So how could you say that this is the right thing? When it would have been right? If Johnathon Pentland actually saw this young man assaulting the woman and then proceeded to beat his ass. Got no problem with that. If This young man is touching all up on a woman or a girl or something like that, and she's clearly in distress. She's saying, "Stop, stop, stop! No, you're hurting me," or whatever. At that point, he has opened himself up to a ass whooping, and he would deserve it. But unless you saw it, then all you can really do is ask the young man some questions. Like, hold on, man, let me ask you something. This young woman said that you sexually assaulted her, that you touched her or something like that. What's going on with that? Do you know anything about that, or what's up? And at that point, he could say, "Fuck off. I ain't got to tell you shit," and he would be right. He would be right, because you saw nothing. You just assumed based on what this young girl told you. And if you believe what the young girl told you, you would let the police deal with it. Right? Or you can do what you did, harass him, tell him to leave, and put your hands on him. And then, see, this would have been the problem, right? If Johnathon Pendleton or whatever, Pentland put his hands on the young man, if the young man had hauled off and hit him, that would have been a problem. You know what this reminded me of a little bit? The Trayvon Martin case, right? Where George Zimmerman was harassing and following Trayvon Martin throughout the gated community, right? Because it was a gated community where he was allegedly a part of the neighborhood watch or whatever. But guess what? His father lived in that community. George Floyd is walking around, harassing him, following him, trying to stop him. Like, you have no right to do that. So if you put your hands on somebody and they haul off and hit you and beat your ass, you think you have a right to shoot them in the chest? Anyway, that's another story. But it kind of reminds me of that, where Johnathon Pentland is harassing this young man, except now it's on video. And what if the young man had hit his ass and knocked his ass out or beat his ass? I know he was so much bigger than the young man, so automatically he could beat his ass, right? No, that's not necessarily true. But anyway, this is the problem. If the young man had hit that dude, knocked him out, beat his ass, who would be wrong? That young man was well within his right to defend himself against someone who was putting their hands on him for no goddamn reason. But of course, Brandon Tatum thinks it's right. But this is what he's going to do. He is going to focus. Now, I didn't watch the video. Brandon Tatum did. It was a long-ass live stream. I haven't had time to watch it. I might go back and watch it, but I can pretty much assume. I can make an ass out of you and me sometimes, so I can do that as well. But I mean, isn't it just enough to know where Brandon Tatum is coming from just by him saying and putting in the title that Johnathon Pentland did nothing wrong? That's enough information for me to know that Brandon Tatum is off his fucking rocker. You understand what I'm saying? He's probably talking about what the young man did before the incident, and he harassed and sexually assaulted a young woman. But Johnathon Pentland did not see that happen. Did not see it happen. The young man did not look like he was guilty of anything. To me, he didn't look like he was like, I don't know. If I'm guilty of sexually assaulting a woman in a neighborhood and someone confronts me about it and she's yelling help in the middle of the street and I'm guilty, I have something to hide, or I don't want anybody, I'm probably going to run, or I'm going to be a little bit more alarmed or alerted, right? I'm going to get out of there. Okay, she didn't call the police. I got time to scat out of here. But that didn't happen. Not to say that he didn't do it. I have no idea. The only people that knows if he sexually assaulted anybody is the victim or the potential victim and he himself. That's it. That's it. Unless there's another witness that probably saw it out the window. This supposedly happened in the middle of the street. I don't know. I need to look into it more. I tried to find some more information, but I couldn't. Not yet. So I'm going to get back to you guys on this as more information comes out. But as it stands, where the video takes place, the young man, and it doesn't matter if he's black. Let me tell y'all something. Doesn't matter if he's black. Doesn't matter if John Pendleton is white. The fact is, One man put his hands on another man that was not doing anything to him. John Pendleton committed a crime against the young man, period. Now, if it comes out that he sexually assaulted somebody and it's a proven fact beyond a shadow of a doubt, okay, at that point, we can have a discussion. But even still, right, it's not your duty or your job to do what John Pendleton did, whether he was accused or not. You didn't see it. It wasn't proven. And what more can you do? Now, let's put a little bit more on it. Let's say it was his daughter. Okay. Your daughter comes up to you. Oh, this dude out here, he put his hands on me, grabbed me or whatever. You know, I can see, you know, getting a little emotional reaction and probably doing something, you know, flying off the handle. I can understand a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But even me, if this has never happened to me, but if my daughter came up to me and said somebody sexually assaulted her, I think I would have to believe her. But I'd have to be very careful about how I approach the situation. Because unless I actually see him do it, I can't just go up to him, beat his ass, or kill them, not have any proof. And now, guess what? I'm getting locked up. I'm going to prison for the rest of my life because I just believe my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So I know that's your first inclination. Your daughter tells you something like that. Boom. You want to act quickly. And I probably would. You know what I'm saying? If my daughter, oh, this dude put his hands on me. I was walking down the street, or this pedophile was grabbed me or something. I don't know. But that's not the case here. The case here is John Pendleton does not know this young girl. He knows her, I think, but it's not his daughter. It's not his family member, you know, and he was just wrong. I don't know any way to slice it. Any other way to slice it. He shouldn't have done that. It's good that he's being charged for it, and hopefully he does some time for it. Hopefully he's held responsible. And that's really what all this is about. That's what the issue with policing is today. The lack of accountability, the lack of responsibility, and the lack of proper consequences to your actions as a police officer. As a police officer, police officers should suffer more consequences, actually, than a normal citizen would, or a normal someone who isn't a cop, because you're supposed to enforce the law. You're supposed to have some form of integrity, right? You should be held at a higher standard. When you do something wrong as a police officer, and when you break a law, right, that you're forcing everyone you're enforcing on everyone, right? Even the traffic infractions. If you're going to enforce traffic infractions, then when you commit a traffic infraction, you should get fined as well, but you should get fined double what a regular citizen should, because at that point you're a hypocrite. How can we trust that you're going to do your job properly if you can't even, you know, follow the laws you're supposed to be enforcing? So police should be held at a higher standard. They should be held when they do something wrong or illegal. When they kill someone with impunity, there should be no longer any impunity when they kill somebody. When you kill someone wrongfully and unjustly, you should suffer twice the consequences someone who isn't a cop would suffer, period. Because this is the bottom line. When a regular person, let's say a gang member, y'all like to use those people so much, right? When a gang member gets caught killing someone and they get caught, they go to jail and they go to prison. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Gangbangers don't have qualified immunity. Police do. And that's the huge problem here. If people were more held responsible, if police officers were held responsible more, or if there was some form of competition, if it was private or they answered to the people, right? If police had to answer directly to the people that pay their salaries, I feel like there would be a lot more incentive for good police to come to the forefront, and the bad police will be easily weeded out, period. Because as it stands right now, Police officers are protected by the state and by the justice system, by the judicial branch. They're protected by them. You know what I'm saying? They don't face the justice they need to face when they do something wrong. And that's how it should be for everyone. Everyone should suffer the consequence for the wrong things they do to other people, especially police officers, twice as much. Period. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Y'all let me know, was Johnathon Pentland or whatever, Pentland, I forgot his last, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I think it's Pentland, something. Was he wrong for shoving that young man, or was he right because he was protecting the honor of another person in the neighborhood without even knowing or seeing what had happened? He just, acted on whatever words, without any proof, came up to the young man and started doing what he did. Do you think that's right, or do you think it's wrong? Or is there some gray area that you would like to touch on? Let me know in the comment section. I'll be glad to hear it. I'm going to look more into this and see what's going on. Yeah, so I'll holler at y'all later. Peace out, and let's keep marching forward toward freedom, people.